Hello and welcome to stop number 2 in our Discflect Tournament Series. We are here. It's a beautiful day in Orchard Park, New York for the 2023 Discflect Summer Open. I am Connor Matteson, here joined by my friend and partner Jon Sandino. How are you today, John?
I'm great. Thanks for asking, Connor, and I'm looking forward to some great Discflect action in this beautiful 75-degree weather.
Absolutely. In this weather, we're really looking to see these teams stay on the buckets.
Number 1 seed Stallion Survivors versus the number 2 seed 7. Heads, tails, who's going to call it?
Ceremonial flip.
And it is heads. 7 has chosen to start with the hammer. It is a best of 5
All right,
series.
looks
Good
like
luck.
7 has the hammer, and Stallion Survivors will be throwing first. When you're starting, you're really just looking to put the momentum, put the pressure on the team with the hammer, and they do that, starting with a big 6-pack.
Connor, this is really just a who's who of Discflect. Between these 4 players, there's almost 20 world championships out there right now.
There really are, and that was a great little tip just to squeak it in the left side there, tied up at 6.
At this rate, Connor, it's going to be which team flinches first. One misthrow could ultimately cost the team a game.
It really is. I mean, you got to wonder how anxious everybody really is there, and that's 12 right there.
Just like that, exactly.
Ooh,
Could that be the little bit of the door opening that Stallion Survivors needs to take a
Yeah.
1-0 series lead?
it definitely could, but you never know. Both of these players can easily plug a 2. Oh, did he get
Which
the 2
did
there?
he get it?
I think he did.
He did.
Yep.
What a throw by Josh Greenauer.
Now, for those of you that don't know, hitting the can right in the front of the goal is 2 points, and that puts them right back on the numbers. You'd rather have 2 than 3 in that situation.
Look
It
at this.
didn't
So
look
now,
like an intentional 2.
a 2 is a 2, Connor.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Stallion Survivors are on par for the course right now, looking to throw a perfect game.
We've seen this from that team before, but these 2, we've seen it from 2. Would not be shocked if we see 4 straight buckets here. There's one
Yep.
of 4, 3
right
to go.
over.
Yep. Little low, but
that was
what
great.
an adjustment by Charles Rizzo. Charles came up limping. Did he hurt himself on that
Yeah.
plank? Keep
Maybe
an eye
he
on that
did.
for the rest of the series. That could prove to be pivotal here.
Oh, and that's the point where you're looking to try to
Wait, was that
plug the.
that
Oh,
looks
that
like
was
it
a
was
2.
2. Oh, okay.
That's
That
all right.
Worked in the Stallion Survivors' favor there.
That did.
So now we just need a 1 on the way back. They've done their job. Now 7 needs double buckets to send this game 1 here to overtime. Or no, wait, no, they
It
are on
looks like
20. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it looks like the score was off. It looks like the first one was a 1, so that was doubles. Okay,
so
now
this
7.
opens.
Yeah, with
7
the
could
bucket
close
here
it
can
out.
win it. And they do.
And they
right
do.
over the can.
And Connor, what did we say at the beginning of this game? It could come down to 1 play, and that's exactly
Yeah,
what it was. One
exactly.
play. And 7
who-
takes a 1-0 series lead.
It's whoever blinks first. I mean, you think both of these teams grinding all tournament, all day to get to the point where they are right now. You got to wonder how much anxiety they have, because this is a sport where you got to be perfect. And if you're not, a team like 7 will jump on it. Just like that.
Just like that. And now they have the momentum, and it's carried from game 1 to game 2. And now this is where throwing second with the hammer isn't always an advantage because you have to match.
Exactly.
But
now,
Stallion Survivors fires right back.
they definitely do. See if they can. And that's right in there.
And
All
you
right,
heard
now
Eric
it's-
Klavoon communicate there,
Yeah.
saying coming in, that's the sign of a team that has played together for a while.
It is. That absolutely. That will tell you what the experienced players do. And that
Oh,
just goes off the side.
If I see Josh Greenauer at that step back, one-handed, approach, he's going to make that 99 times out of 100. That was the one didn't fall. And again, maybe that's
that's a 0 there. Okay. So, John, you're part of this right here. What are you thinking after they just put up a 1 and a 0 there?
In my head, I already know the numbers. We have hammer, and we're only down by 1. If we take control of this round and the following one, we've got it locked up. But again, you cannot let this opportunity slip away.
You can't. And right now, you're really looking to stay on the numbers. That means staying on the 3s. So I'm assuming right here, if the throw is off and John doesn't believe he can make the tip, he's going to catch this.
Exactly.
He hits the 2.
Hits the 2, which is actually better than a 3 there, because now the Stallion Survivors have room for error in the next couple rounds. They could get a 1, and it's not going to take them off the numbers.
You're afforded a miss, and in this game, when everything has to be so perfect, you really got to worry about those numbers.
It's just like the first round, Connor. If someone said, would you rather a 5 or 6, give me 5 all day long, because now you can afford yourself a miss the rest of the game.
Absolutely. You can't get a perfect game with 5, but who cares about the stats as long as you take the win?
That's correct. But look at 7. 7-11. 7-11.
Oh, I like it.
They're fighting back. They tie it up at 11.
Are.
But Stallion Survivors are keeping they're not letting up off the gas here.
And
okay, so now there's a slight opening for 7. The Survivors would have probably preferred to be on 17 there, easier close with 4. And now they're going to need double buckets, but let's see what happens.
You see that throw goes right over. The wind isn't really affecting the disc too much this game, as we've seen in other past tournaments.
And right now, Josh and Charles are thinking no 2s, right? Let's not get stuck on 16.
Yep.
So, and you just heard Charles say there, it's all right, we're on 15. He'd rather have a 1 than a 2 there. Of course, the 3's preferred, but no 2s.
Yep, absolutely. And they're really looking. You see, you're taking your time here to make sure you give Eric a perfect throw, which you do.
Yes, and if you've known me over the years, when push comes to shove, if I have to take a little time to adjust, I will. Eric with the throw right back. Goes for the one-handed one, a little low there, but something that probably should have been had. And now...
I like the strategy you had, though. When you're on the dominant side of the right side, trying to hit that back corner is where I always try to go for it, too.
And when the throw comes in the way it did there, too, you have to go with the one-hander. Because if you go 2, you're starting to get to like that carry territory, which is not
absolutely.
legal.
And you got everyone here watching, so you definitely can't make any of those attempts.
Correct.
That will be called out right away.
The good and the bad for the Stallion Survivors. They had a chance to close out. They didn't. That's the bad. The good, they have hammer, so they only need 2 points to force an overtime. If they end up getting a win in this game, it's going to be because they put a little extra work on themselves. But let's see. There's 1. They do need the 1 back, or everything I just said.
More often than not, 1-1 for a top-tier pro division team is pretty menial. Just more how they usually go about it.
Unless it was the Discflect Open, Connor. Remember those wins?
That is true. Those wins were horrible. They were. You were seeing these teams barely even getting it over there.
Josh Greenauer loved the throw by Rizzo. He was just pointing like that was beautiful, right over.
You know, I got to comment on the way that Josh holds. He holds his disc with one hand before he even releases it. You see, most players, especially yourself here too, most players will hold the disc with 2. And I wonder if that's anything to do with the lack of the wind today.
It might be. The first throw there, a little bit of a rush, not necessary.
And then Eric's got to go for a slot here. Oh, he tries the wind slot, doesn't get it. Gives 7 the 2-0 lead. And Stallion Survivors take the hammer. So what's your strategy going into Game 3 here? You're down 2-0.
Pretty much. It's do or die time. We're out of time. We have no more mulligans left, right?
Yeah,
this is it.
Absolutely, especially against a team like 7 here. They really get the momentum going. And that's how you respond there. A 6-pack right here really swings the momentum back in the Stallion Survivors' favor. Ooh, and that was a great way to stick on the 3s there.
Oh, and Charles Rizzo shows a little respect there, too.
He does.
He likes it.
He does. And that's what's great about this sport, too, is everyone's friends with each other. It's great camaraderie within the competition of the sport itself.
That is right, Connor. And even in the heat of the battle, when world championships are on the line or just, any tournament, you're going to see a lot of, high fives or complimentary comments, just because this is a great community. It's like a family.
Exactly, it really is.
So back to the action here. 7 is up 8-6, and Stallion Survivors are just communicating with each other, making sure they're aware of the score and what's going on. Again, if you're throwing threes, then the score really doesn't matter because you're going to get to 21 in 7 throws, which Stallion Survivors are on pace for right now. They are more than halfway home, 12-8.
Yep, they got 12. And I got to think next couple throws Stallion Survivors have, you guys are going to be worried about catching it if it's off, staying on those threes.
Honestly, Connor, in that situation, I worry about the other team because when you got veterans like this, you can't control what they do, and you're worried they're going to throw a six-pack, and that's exactly what they do. So now the pressure goes right back to you.
Right back here. Now you're taking a little bit of time, making sure your throw is perfect so he doesn't have a decision, and he doesn't. That's over the can.
So you hear Eric say your call. Again, this is the scenario you mentioned in Game 1. If it's there, you're going for it. If it's not, you're catching it.
And it's
Eric
there.
Made it so easy. Beautiful throw by Eric Klavoon.
Takes all the question out of it.
The GOAT in these circles.
Absolutely.
The most titles of all
is.
time. Push comes to shove. This guy is just clutch.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a bad throw and you can pick one person out of everyone to try to jam that, you're picking Eric Klavoon every time.
Oh, rare miss by Josh. Don't sell yourself, though, short, Connor. You're one of the top players in the world, too. Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it. Well, you see 7 here. They're in range, so he's attempting a win. Oh, and he just goes a little bit long with it there.
And that's a beautiful strategy, right? Because the only thing you don't want there is a 1. So basically, it's either going in or it's hitting on its own for either a win or a 2 to put you on 17.
Exactly.
So,
that's a veteran
strategy.
move. That's a veteran move there because you never know what could happen.
Survivors, again, they leave the door open. There's a chance to close. And now they're going to need a 2 or else the door is open again.
I've seen this man plug a 2 more times than I can count.
Me too. And look at
he
that.
Does.
He does.
He does.
And look at that. No doubt.
Right there. To take the game there. That is the hardest shot in Discflect. To hit that 2 when everything's on you. You got to get the perfect thing. You can't even be helped by your partner. They can't help you. So
that's correct.
They
don't call him E-Money for nothing. Oh, 2 plays in a row.
God. Right
Closing
there.
out game 3, excuse me, and now starting game 4 with a beautiful one-handed deflect.
Oh, right. So I see you try to return it there. Still getting 1, staying on it. But that was a top-tier deflect by Eric.
And 7, firing back with a 3.
6-pack puts some momentum, and it does.
And they do.
With these 2 exceptional players here, you really don't have any room for error. Yeah.
What a bury there by Eric Klavoon.
I love how Eric gets his body behind the disc and then angles it into the goal the way he wants to. Same thing with the way that you did it there. I've seen a lot of players move their hands and not their body. It kind of messes up their angles. So these distinguished top-tier players really know their angles. They've been playing for a long time.
They do, and another thing these top players will tell you is if you're going to miss high. That's their, it's just easier in general, but that a lot of these players like it to their dominant side high. That's their wheelhouse.
Exactly.
7, though, right back in it again. And keep in mind, 7 does have hammer this game. So they're trailing by 1, but hammer. And the Survivors are on course for 16, which is going to ultimately put them potentially in a 5-spot situation, which they are.
Yeah.
So right now, 7 really controls this, right? Like double buckets twice, and they're up to 21, and Survivors are going to need 5.
And the pitch is right down the middle there.
Yep. And again, it comes down to 4 throws, now 3 throws.
And the home run is hit.
There
that
it is,
puts
the
them
closer.
right on pace. I wonder if John, looks like you're going for the 3 here, and he keeps with it. That's that strong side you were talking about. If you're going to miss high, gives one of the best jammers in the area of all time to a chance to get it. Now he's got to plug
where
the
your
2
teammate
again.
likes it too. So sometimes there's intentional design to throw to a certain side, right?
looks like it's a one there.
Just missed, yes.
But you are completely right. If you know your team, you know where they like the disc to be.
Here we go.
This is it.
Charles Rizzo looking
Let's
for
see.
a second win of the early season here.
Right over.
And it's just a 3 away.
Can Josh come back? And
he
do.
Does.
And that's the win.
And there you go. When you hear nice throw, because that was a beautiful way to end it. Charles Rizzo's still limping, so let's just see how this plays out as we move forward, because that could be something to keep an eye on.
It really can. Like, a lot of these injuries can linger, especially if it's on your planting foot.
Come here in the middle. Your 2023 Discflect Summer Open champion. These are dope. Yes. Cash for your troubles. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to get team photos, so don't everybody take off.
Congratulations, Josh Greenauer and Charles Rizzo.
Well earned. Well deserved. Traditional photo. Beautiful. Plaque trophies.
I always got to get a little funny poses in there by Josh. One of the best players of all time and one of the best.
There's that pose.
Yep, always.
And once again, we thank you all for joining us on behalf of Connor Matteson. This is Johnny Discflect, and we are signing off from the 2023 Discflect Summer Open from Orchard Park. And as always, we look forward to seeing you on the next stop of this circuit. Thank you all, and happy disc collecting.